So thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Commend Journey podcast. My name is Michael Diamond. I'm your host, and I'm here with a special ISC West 2024 interview with our guest, who, of course, in Commend Journey podcast fashion, I will allow them to introduce themselves. So who do we have?
I am Blake Smith. I have been with Gallagher for about 10 years now. I've been in the industry for about 25 years total. I started out in the military and then slowly migrated my way over to Gallagher. I really have enjoyed my experiences with Gallagher so far.
Great.
It's given me a tremendous amount of opportunity to meet a lot of different people.
Yeah, absolutely. So your position at Gallagher is?
So I'm the National Technical Manager at Gallagher, and I help manage and generate basically those third-party relationships.
Okay.
Like the Commend relationship.
Which we are very happy to have. So when we look at 2024 and beyond, a lot of the stuff that we're talking to our integrating partners with, and then just really in general, as we're talking a lot about how they see the market and what their focuses are for this year. So could you maybe give us an idea of what Gallagher's or what you are personally focusing on?
Yeah, so Gallagher as a whole, we have three basically strategic verticals that we're going to be focusing on this year. One of them is higher education. One of them is higher education K through 12, and then U.S. federal, and then transportation and logistics.
Okay, there's a lot there in that.
That's
market.
A lot to unpack.
Do you want to unpack it with us?
So really, that's Gallagher's key, like marketing verticals and verticals that we're going to be going after. I'm thinking more in the strategic relationships as far as integrations and being able to support those key verticals, right? While we have a marketing strategy that our product may suit very well, I'm really more focused on creating that ecosystem that really solves the puzzle for our salespeople to be able to go out and be productive.
Okay, that's a great point. So let me ask you this then, to dive in a little bit. How do you create that ecosystem?
So at Gallagher, we have a technology partner program, which has three different levels. One of them is basic, just a one-off integration. One is considered endorsed, which you'll receive a login to a technology partner portal, as well as sponsorship on our website. So you'll be a recognized member of the Gallagher community. And then there's strategic alliances. And those are much deeper. Those actually touch the core of Command Center in a much deeper way. So, but for me, it's all about building that ecosystem that solves the problems that those three key verticals have. And from the Command relationship, it's more about getting that communication, point to point, leveraging Command Center and the functionality that's in Command Center to make sure that those communications aren't missed and that they convey the message, I guess.
Absolutely. Communication is key. Okay, so building out the ecosystem probably deals with players within that on the Gallagher side. That could be any number of both the sales staff and then probably internal operational staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, it's working with the developers out of New Zealand, right? Making sure that they understand where our market sits, making sure that they understand the value that they are delivering to our market, right? Because we can't do anything without them,
right?
As well as communicating with our technology partners and their representatives in the third party products, right?
Okay.
So my counterparts, basically.
Right.
And really focused in on, so as part of that, the strategy would be laid out like, negotiating and really kind of diving into what the true value proposition is, making sure that the integration is fit for purpose and is really going to solve a problem. I think a lot of the times, you may have not fully uncovered what the true business value is that you're trying to, or problem that you're trying to solve. And I want to make sure that our sales teams are aligned with that, make sure they understand that, make sure that they can articulate that and be able to engage, Commend sales teams in a regional way, in a meaningful way, right? One of the other pieces that I'm really kind of focused on also is, that sales team enablement. And that is, again, making sure that they can, focus in on the value proposition, get the training, get our tech support trained as well to be able to support the Commend product, because they're going to call us ultimately, right?
Right.
Making sure that they understand how the integration works, some of the limitations or some of the benefits, that it may bring.
Right. It's case by case, right? So everybody's integration is going to be a little bit different.
Mhm.
Every style of whether it's a upgrade or whether it's a completely fresh green grass install, you're going to have different factors and then different players within that ecosystem. And so it's a tailored solution that you're making sure that they understand that they can offer and add value that way. It's not just a blank slate, A plus B equals C.
Yeah. Really it's about the end user, right?
Mhm.
And making sure that they're well supported and that making sure that, we understand, again, just the entire ecosystem.
Yeah. So I think we run into this a lot in the market where a customer will say, I want X.
Mhm.
And the sales staff hears that they want X. And then engineering eventually gets involved or technical support gets involved and they tap the salesperson on the shoulder and say, your customer actually wants X, Y, and 2. Are you aware of that?
Absolutely.
We
run across that quite often, actually. So, and developers they speak and developer speak. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of the times it doesn't necessarily convey to the end user, and making sure that it's fit for purpose. So really being thoughtful and intentional about discovering, what is it that they're asking for. The other thing that I like to do is make sure that we're not developing the minimal lovable product. And that seems to be happening a lot in our industry today. If we're going to invest the effort, the time, and the money and resources into developing an integration, let's truly make sure that we can extract as much value out of that and not cut corners,
Yeah, absolutely. All too often, I think in our industry, that's exactly what is served up as this is what you want. And they love to cookie cutter things because they believe that equals sales. And what it is, it's that old adage that not everybody's going to fit into the single standard box. And you need to be able to have an adaptability trait within these solutions that you offer to create curves and create windows where there aren't any. And I think that's something that both Gallagher and Commend do very well.
Absolutely. And I do think that our integration is very well built and solid at this time. So, the other thing that I'm really leaning on our developers in New Zealand around is making sure that, after we've completed the development effort, right, we've verified that it's fit for purpose, we've signed off on it, everybody's happy, Commend is happy, Gallagher's happy,
right.
That we don't just, we're done.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is that we don't go back and address that, right? You do feature enhancements, you continue to grow the product, you fix, whether it's us or Commend, we fix bugs, we move the product forward. So having a review process in place that goes back and addresses, at least semi-annually, that goes back and looks at the integration. Are there additional features that are enhancements that are available to make sure that we go back and include those into the integration? Because too often, we say that we have an integration and we just, we're good.
Yeah, I think it's more common in the industry than a lot of folks would believe it is, where they'll say, "Oh, we check this box. Oh, yeah, we integrate into that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do that. Yep."
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you get behind the curtain, they say, "Oh, well, we haven't updated this solution since 2019."
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 2024 now, and the software is 5 versions ahead or more, and you haven't updated your integration. So it's a good point to point out that manufacturers and developers can do more, and they need to do more to meet the market's demands.
Correct.
And it's good that you have that vision.
The other thing from there is really understanding the sales metrics. And I don't know that we've done a really good job of capturing that, to date. It's something I'm really looking to improve. So when I talk about sales metrics, it's how much business are we driving for one another, right? Mm-hmm. What tool sets are you using to capture those leads? What tool sets are you using to, bring the sales cycle completely around to? For me, that's going to be really important because it is one of my KPIs that are coming up for this fiscal year for Gallagher, is making sure that we're driving business out of these relationships, and in the marketing initiatives that we have are getting that ROI, right? Mm-hmm. As I know that there's a lot of revenue that's been generated off of these integrations collectively for both Commend and Gallagher, but it's not truly been measured.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And if we don't know if we don't measure, right. We can't improve if we don't know what the measurement is. So you're taking the right path, which is to start at square one and say, what is actually happening? What's the verifiable data, right?
Yep.
And so that's a key point.
So,
okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Command Journey podcast. It's awesome to see someone face to face here. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.